when I was getting bred twice a week by the Jewish man Ashkenazi over like 4 years on Sunset and Vine in Los Angeles, California, I would starve myself, but not like literally starve myself to the point where I'm like a starving child and then like I die and I'm like malnourished. I mean, like I would skip lunch and dinner on the days that I would go see him, because for me, like, even though I knew that like I wouldn't shart on his wee-wee even if I like ate dinner, I still didn't feel comfortable doing that. One, because in my mind I'm like, oh, like if I eat, that poop is gonna come out, even though I knew that like the poop won't come out that same night. And two, this man had like his own insecurity with his weight. He wasn't like fat vibes, but he had like a belly, and he would call himself like a fat whale like every single time I would see him. And so he'd be like, oh, I want to look like you, Kevin, like I need my body to look like yours. And he'd be like, if you gained weight, Kevin, like I won't be attracted to you, like I can't see you again. And so because I would be around him all the time, I was seeing him literally twice a week, getting bred by him twice a week. And even though I would get bred twice a week, I would see him like 4 times out of the week, because I would get bred the night before and then we would spend like the next day together. And so I would see him, and then he would talk about like how he's like a fat whale and how he wants to look like me. And so, and he would tell me like if I gained weight, he wouldn't like be attracted to me, he wouldn't like me and stuff. And so, and he was my first, so like obviously I had like that very much like virgin perspective in this like situationship. And so this was between 2019 to 2023-ish, like early this year, or like 2022 basically. And you know, this was my first ever like situationship with a man, and or someone in general. And I didn't really know like that I had insecurities about my physical appearance in that extent until I was seeing this man. And so I had no idea that I was insecure about like my body, or like that I felt the need to maintain my body in that way, until I noticed myself skipping meals, until I noticed myself like going to the gym more. And I like, for some reason it was so like, I feel like most people like know when they experience like an issue with food or like an issue with working out, like they kind of like know and they're aware of it. They're like, oh, I have an eating disorder, or like I had an eating disorder. I'm not saying I had one, but for me it was a lot more subtle. Like I'm not saying that like, oh, like I was like starving and I like, it was a horrible thing. It wasn't great for sure, but I wasn't like sad about it. I was kind of just like controlling my body and my food intake and my gym routine so meticulously in a way that was dictated by the opinion of a man that never wanted me. Like we never dated. I loved him, but he was like in an open relationship with somebody else in the first 2 years of us banging, and then he was single, but then like I was never good enough for him, basically. Tear. And so I do want to talk about this today because I was inspired by Alex Earl's podcast segment that she had put out earlier today. I saw only clips of it, but she was talking about like her eating disorder. And I think it's really interesting because a lot of my girlfriends I know in real life like definitely have had real like eating disorders that I feel so bad to even like experience that through them. And like I feel bad for like my girlfriends, because it's like a lot worse for a woman obviously in this society to like be fat vibes, or like they feel like they're gross, and it's like really sad. But I feel like it's interesting to kind of like look at this issue of like fitness and like food intake as like a gay person, because I have straight guy friends. I don't really have a lot of gay friends. I do now, but like I'm getting close with them. I'm not like, they're from TikTok and like from social media career and stuff. But it's interesting because people talk about girls having eating disorders all the time. No one ever bats an eye when it's like a guy talking about like a straight guys. I feel like a lot of straight guys like control their food intake so meticulously to have like a 6-pack and to have like a super fit body. And for me as a gay person, like I noticed, or like I don't even know if this is like true, but like I've always felt like unwanted my whole life. I'm not saying that to be like, oh my god, like feel bad for me, want me, like I'm gonna be single forever, like it's fine. But I've felt unwanted even before I like was working out. I don't know, like I'm pretty fit, but like I noticed that like when I was first starting out in the Grindr sphere, and even now sometimes, like I'm not looking now, but like my photos on Grindr, for example, like they're all like shirtless photos. I feel like as a gay person, like, you have to be fit, because otherwise, like, I don't know, I've never experienced life as like a fatty, so I wouldn't know what it would be like to like be like chubby and then like feel insecure in like the dating world. I'm not sure. So like, if you experience that, let me know in the comments like how that is for you. But for me, even as a fit person, I still feel unwanted in the dating sphere. And even though like a lot of guys like me, but I never like them back. It's like I always like the guys that like are crusty dusty. Oh no, sorry. The guys that are crusty dusty like me, and then I always like the guys that are like unattainable, right? And sometimes there's like mixes, like the dude that bred me twice a week for 4 years. But basically, I don't condone skipping meals and starving yourself for a man, because that's what I did for a long time. I literally would skip lunch and I would skip dinner and I would just go, like, I'd have breakfast and then like a smoothie, and then I would go see him at like 5 p.m. and I would just like, I wouldn't be able to eat even around him. Like if we went out to a restaurant, I wouldn't be able to eat. And we would drink too. So I would drink, it would take me like just a couple shots to get drunk because I would have no food in my stomach. And it wasn't great, obviously. And also, I feel like it's as a bottom too. I mean, I'm not banging. I've only banged him basically over like 4 years, and I'm not banging now. I haven't banged in like months, basically almost a year. But I hope people remember, like, if you're a gay person and you take it up the back door, you know, you can douche and then like eat dinner and you'll still be clean. Like, you don't have to worry about sharding on his D word if you like, oh, if I eat dinner, like I'm gonna be dirty again. Like, that's not how it works. And I feel like it makes me feel sad when I hear like gay people even talk about like, oh yeah, I only had like an ice cube so I can keep my my flat stomach to go see him. I'm kind of just like, men are not worth that much like effort. Cause like, even though I worked so hard on like my body and like to stay as thin as possible, to like work hard in my life to like get this man to like me, nothing I did was ever enough for him. So it's like, I don't like saying like if he wanted to he would. It's kind of true sometimes, but it's kind of just like sometimes the person that like you're trying to impress is like just not it. Like, I understand wanting to be on the same level. Like, if you want someone that's like up here, you have to be up there as well, like in your life, like your career, your confidence. I get that. But if someone like is so unattainable, they don't want you from the get-go, and it's like you think that if you like eat less and you like work out more, they'll eventually want you. Like, I feel like it's not like that, because it's like the chemistry comes first, and it's like you'll never be enough for someone that like has that mentality and like will not treat you well even when you're like has a belly or whatever. Like, I would hope that like, I don't know, it's just like, yeah. But I just wanted to make this video because I've never really talked about like this to this extent before. But no, but with food, it's like because I would like skip meals and stuff, I would binge, right? Because that's an after effect of like when you skip meals for a whole day, you would like binge the next day. It's a phase for me. It's like sometimes I'll go months where I'm like super clean and healthy, and then even now, like I'm not seeing anyone now, I'll be like super bingey and then I'll be clean again. I don't know, it's like confusing because like I do have 3 photo shoots next week for like my upcoming album, and I felt my brain going like, okay, well, if you have 3 shoots, 2 of them are shirtless, you have to eat really clean and really strict. But then I'm like, do I want a strict diet? I don't know. It's kind of just like, try to have like a really complete healthy diet every single day, because like you gotta nourish your body, you know what I mean? Like, you should feed your body, even if it's like snacking. I don't condone like super unhealthy foods or like drinking like drogas, like I don't condone that. But if it's like healthy foods, like you should nourish your body, you know what I mean? Like, you should eat 3 times a day, like you should do that. And my problem with binge eating probably is like an ingrained thing from like the years of just like feeling weird about food. But I definitely do have splurges with food, and also like the opposite of that, in which like I would be super like strict, and then I would be super like lolsy, and I would just eat everything in sight. So I still have to like fix that. Like last night I had 3 mooncakes, and even though I'm like dieting now because I have 3 shoots next week, and I felt so bad about eating the 3 mooncakes. I'm like, why do I feel bad? And like, who cares? Like, if I have a slight belly, it's not the end of the world, because like ultimately you want to have a body that you can feel consistent with. and you want to have a body that like you can, like, let's say you get super strict for 1 month for a photo shoot or something next year, and if you can't keep up with that like lifestyle, you're gonna get a belly and you're not gonna feel amazing. So might as well just do what feels consistent to you at a given time. Be disciplined, but like be consistent. Like that's more important, you know what I mean? Like if you're more consistent doing a 10-minute jog every day than if you were to like do a full workout routine 2 hours every single day, that 10 minutes of jogging over years will have a more lasting effect on you than if you were to lift crazy for like a month and then stop forever. So yeah, that's what I think. And same with food too. Like if you can't stick to like intermittent fasting, super crazy diet, or if you do that and it only lasts you a month, you're better off just cutting out one thing and having that last years. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this is like a long ramble, but I just felt like talking today about this issue. So yeah, don't starve yourself and don't skip meals for a man, because most likely he's not worth it. And you'll never be enough for him, so. What thumbnail should I do? Should I just smile? Get it? X is like, don't do it.